Hi garden friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Era and this is Gardening on Purpose. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A. For today's video, I will be uppotting some of my perennials. These are the ones that are in bulb or rhizome or corm form, and I do this because I want to give them a jump start. I want them to have some roots under them so then I can plant it out in the landscape when things really warm up. I don't have to do this. I have a long planting season, but I do it because if I don't do this, I'll have to wait until April and then dig a hole and put them directly in the soil. And then the area will kind of stay blank until it finally sprouts. Then when it finally sprouts, it take another month for it to kind of bloom. But this, I'm getting a head start, putting some roots under them so that they can, when I bring them out, they will already have foliage and roots and they could actually bloom faster. So in any case, I have a couple of things going on here. I have my soil mix. This is a mix of compost and potting soil, and these are the two things I'm using. I always use this compost. This is one of my favorite composts. This is mushroom compost. It is odorless and weed-free. I really like this black velvet mushroom compost because it doesn't smell, and I just have really good luck with it. Usually I'd use like the Kellogg container mix, but I'm going to use the potting mix right now for Expert Gardener. That Kellogg one is getting up there with the price, but this one is a little bit more cheaper. But again, this is only going to be temporary stay for these plants, so I don't need to put fancy stuff in there. So that's a mix of those two in the wheelbarrow. I also have my markers. Don't want to forget these because this is very, very important. If I start working on this project and I step away and don't mark these things, I will not remember what they are. And I will have to wait until they bloom, and then, you know, sometimes you just never know what's going to happen. And then, of course, I have the stars of the show. I have mostly what I'm going to be doing today is dahlias, but I do also have some Liatris in here and a peony. And then I have my reusable containers. These are containers that I've bought stuff in and I've reused and used and reused again. So this will be part of the process, guys. So let's get started. Okay, guys, so I am just gonna mix up the potting mix and the compost together to kind of make it a little bit more even. Mix that up really, really good. And then I'm going to have my marker ready because I do not want to forget to mark these things. So first up is the dahlia. This one is called Kogain Fubuki. I've never planted this in my yard before, and I've never seen it anywhere else. But I got this, I believe, at Home Depot, and they were selling these, looks like there's 4 in here for $14. So Kogain Fubuki, it blooms in the summer and the fall, attracts pollinators, and like every dahlia, they like full sun. The instruction says to plant after a threat of frost is passed, which is why I'm upstarting it. I would not plant these out in the landscape before April 15th, but the jump start will definitely give them roots so I can plant it the day of the 15th. Okay, and it's a beautiful plant. It's, it's pinky and yellow. And let's see what the quality is, because that's the big thing. All right. So here's one. Here's another one. They're called tubers. They're like potatoes, actually. And make sure that they're all hard. They're really hard, and they're not shrivelly, and they're not soft, or they have anything white or anything growing on them. But that's what they look like. So that was 4 of them. So let me get the container. So dahlias, I'm gonna actually use a 2-gallon for this one. Usually I'll use like a gallon, but I don't have a lot of gallons here, and I have a lot of things to plant. So what I usually do is I use the container and I put 3 inches of soil at the bottom. Once I get to 3 inches of soil at the bottom, I kind of level it out, and then I place the dahlia inside of it. The dahlia This is last year's growth. This is where they cut it off, and this was all in the ground. Now, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so it looks better. And I'm feeling it. It's all hard, so that's good. They're not like spoiled or anything. But when I plant this, this is still going to be sticking out. Okay? So when I place it here in the container, I just put the rest of the soil around it. Then I level it out again. Again, this is a temporary space for these plants. So there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of going on with it. And as you can see, there's that guy poking out right there. And the marker, if I can only find them. So here's a marker right here. And I'm just going to put Kogain Fubuki. I have 4 of these. Kogain Fubuki. And then I just stick it in here so I don't forget. And that's pretty much how I pot up all my stuff. You might have seen videos of mine, like the last 2 years when I did hostas. I did all kinds of perennials, and they really, really did well. So this process has really worked out for me. So that's the first Kogain Fubuki in the books. So let me finish the rest of the Kogains, and I'll show you the other types of plants. Next up, we have Kelvin Floodlight. Kelvin Floodlight is a really nice neon-y kind of color. I bought this last year, and for whatever reason, it didn't come up, or I don't know what happened to it. Because I know that this looks really good next to my Thomas Edison. I have a Thomas Edison that is an absolutely wonderful plant. It blooms and blooms and blooms. This would be a really great plant to put right next to that purple Thomas Edison. But in any case, this is Kelvin Floodlight, and again, just like every other one, they're telling me I can plant it in February to January to February, but I will not do that. I will be potting it up. Let's see what the quality of Kelvin Floodlight is. Okay. These again from Walmart. All right, let me see. All right, so this is Kelvin Floodlight. And this doesn't look too bad at all, guys. A lot of tubers. I'm squeezing it to make sure the tuber is hard. If you see anything that is not hard, you pull it off so it doesn't really cause any diseases or anything. And I can see new growth already. So I'm really, really happy to see that from Kelvin. So again, I'm just going to use this 2-gallon here that I had in the yard and throw it in 3 inches at the bottom. Level it out. Put the Kelvin Floodlight in there. This is a really nice one. I'm really, really hoping for good things to this particular one here. Put it in the pot. Kind of spread the tubers too. Like, just don't put it there. Just kind of put it in the pot and put the tubers at an angle where they are not like going against their grain. And then once you do that, then you pour some more soil on the top. And again, once you're done pouring your soil, make sure the top of the tuber is still visible right there. This one, they cut that one a little bit shorter, it looks like. So this one is not kind of poking all the way out, but so long as this is above the soil, you're good. Okay, so that was Kelvin. And let me get my marker. And then I could put Kelvin in here. Okay, so we have Kelvin Floodlight. Perfect. And you just like put it right here and you're done. Let me see the quality of the other Kelvin. It's not as big as the other one. So here it is right here. This is last year's growth. It's not the greatest, but that happens sometimes when you buy some of these tubers. I'm still going to plant it. Why? Because you don't lose anything by not planting it because you think it's no good. Still plant it because sometimes plants do surprise you. Okay, so let me get my gloves back on again. And again, put it in here. 2 inches. Put it in here. Cover it. This one actually, I could put this in a smaller container, but I'm already invested in this container, it looks like. And then again, make sure that one is poking out so you can see it. And the reason why you want to poke that out is because you want the top of it or the crown of it not to rot. You want this thing was when you're watering or when it rains or anything, you don't want this thing to rot. So that's why you keep it above the ground or above the soil line. This one again, I'm just going to put Kelvin because I know it's going to be Kelvin Floodlight, and then just mark it. Okay, let's see what other dahlias we have. Next up, guys, is Lady Darlene. Let me know if you have Lady Darlene and how it does in your yard. I love that yellow with that red trim. Really, really nice. Again, from Walmart, 2 bulbs for $5.92. And again, back here, it just tells you that it blooms summer to fall, how tall it grows, which is 24 to 36 inches, which means it's 2 to 3 feet, and that you should plant them 3 to 5 inches below the ground. But let's see what Lady Darlene is saying. Okay, let's open it up and let's inspect the bulbs or the tubers. All right, so here's this one here. I'm squeezing it. It's all nice and hard. Nothing looks mildewed or anything. If it does, then you want to remove that. And again, here is the top of last year's growth, and I'm happy to see this green guy here because that means that this thing is quite alive. So again, I have my container here with 3 inches of soil at the bottom. I am just gonna place it in there, and once I place it in there, then I will cover it with soil. So let me do that. I'll have to go do another mix of my container, another mix of the container mix with the compost because I'm running low on soil. Now I have 2 of Lady Darlene, and just like that, that's Lady Darlene. Let's do the marking. I have to get into the habit of marking right away because sometimes you're thinking, oh, I'm going to remember. And then the minute you get up or the minute you take a phone call, the minute you do something else, then you're going to forget. So I'm going to put Lady Darlene and put that marker in there. Let's see what else other dahlias I have. The last of the dahlias is the lucky number. This one here, this is what it looks like. It's a nice pinky one. Not sure if it's going to look like that when it finally blooms, but this is the picture that I'm going by. Lucky number. Let's see what the quality is. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, this is not bad at all, guys. Walmart came through this year for sure. They did last year too. So this is what it looks like, and here is the top of the plant that they cut off, and I'm seeing new shoots, so that's always good. And again, you know, this one looks kind of shrivelly. I might take it off. Let me see. It's kind of softy. I will pull that one off, but all the others look great. Okay, so let me try to pull this one off. Leave that. Oh, it's taking. Wow. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I should leave it. Oh, let me twist it off because now I already damaged it. Okay. So all I'm gonna do is put it in the prepared container here with the 3 inches of soil as per usual. And I'm really excited about this, guys. I'm really, really excited. Make sure it stands up too. Don't let it fall because you want the tubers to have somewhere to go when they are beginning to grow out. So once I kind of do that, like that, then I will put the soil around it. And make sure not to cover the top so it doesn't get crown rot, or, you know, when it waters or when it rains on it, it doesn't stay extra wet. So that is lucky number, and lucky number needs his tag. So let's put Luckay and number, just to save some time, and mark it. So that is pretty much it for the dahlias. The other lucky number, let me see what it looks like. Oh, it doesn't look great. Almost forgot about it too. Here's this other lucky number. Sometimes, I think most of the times what I notice, you get a really nice, really nice one, and then you get one like this. It's like a little sister, like a straggler or something. But I'm still going to plant it because, it was paid for. It was only $5.42, but, if it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. But I'll never know unless I plant it. And then I'm going to put it in the container, and then I'm going to use the soil to cover it. Cover it to the point where this guy is sticking out, and then you mark it. All right, so that's it for the dahlias. Let's see what other types of bulbs I have. All right, guys, so on to the peonies. I absolutely love peonies. I think that peonies are one of the most beautiful flowers, out there. I have a Inspector Laverne, and I have I bought in this form last year. I bought a what's that yellow one called? I'll put it on the screen if I remember it. It obviously didn't bloom last year, because when you buy these, especially when you buy these peonies in the bare root form, it's very unlikely. Well, in what I've read and in my experience, it doesn't bloom the first year. But I do have a couple of peonies in the yard, but these ones, I thought they were so pretty. This one is Flame, and another one is called Hawaiian Coral. I'm thinking this is Hawaiian Coral, and I think this is Flame, but I'm not absolutely sure. But in either case, there are two plants for $14.98, and I believe these were either from Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't remember what it was. This guy here, the peonies, they bloom in the spring. They require full sun, and they grow from zones 3 to 8. I'm in 8A, and they do really, really well for me. So let's see the quality of the rhizome, or the tuber, or the bulb. Okay. Peonies are very interesting looking. Here they are. This is the top, I would imagine, because this is where the new growth is coming from, and these are the roots. Peonies, what I've read about them is that once you plant a peony, they don't like to be moved around too much. They are long-lived, and again, they are absolutely beautiful, and not a lot of tubers or rhizomes or bulbs look like this, so it's very easy to identify what a peony is. Now this guy here, I need to read the instructions properly because I want to know how deep this should go. 1 inch. That's another thing about them. They don't like to be too deep. And I've heard that some people have peonies and they don't bloom. And I think I've read also that a lot of people are saying the reason why it's not blooming, one of the reasons it could be, is because it's planted too deep. So I'm going to make sure not to plant this too deep because I really want this to bloom. Will not bloom in 2025, but I'm excited for 2026. So again, here's my very deep container. I'm going to put it in just like I did the dahlias, and then don't cover anything above right here. Right? Don't cover anything that wasn't underground when you actually open the container. Okay? So again, here's the container. I'm just going to judge what 3 inches is right now, guys. And then here's the peony going in. Kind of angle it so it will be naturally in the container, right? It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to set it up like this, but naturally how it looks in the container, that's the top of the plant. And again, only 1 inch deep, guys. So in the end, this guy is still out there. So that was, I can't tell the difference between the Hawaiian Coral and the Flame based on what I'm looking at. And something broke off here? I can't tell. I have 3 things in here, but it looks like it broke. Oh boy. See one right here and another one? Looks, I know they would not give me more than I paid for. So this must have broken off, but I can't tell from where. But in any case, I'm going to plant them separate. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, look, my peony's feeling kind of soft. Not good, guys. It's supposed to be nice and firm. Not good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plant this just plant it just for planting's sake, but I might not have too much hope for it because it's feeling kind of pungy. It's feeling kind of soft, which is no good. So I'm gonna put this to the side and plant this another time, because with the softness, it might be, the fact that it was in the plastic too long. It might be that it's diseased. I don't know what it is, but let us mark the peony, even though we don't know which particular peony I just planted. I'm just gonna say peony. There's only two options. It's either Hawaiian coral or flame, and I'll know that once it blooms. Okay, I'm kind of bummed about the peony too. Really bummed about that. Why is it so soft? Okay, soft is never good. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Alrighty, guys, we have Liatris. I really, really like this plant. This does so well for me in my yard. The pollinators love it. Sometime in July and August, this thing will be completely covered in bees and butterflies. It looks exactly like this, and I have them all over my yard. You get 50 bulbs for $14.98. I believe it was either Home Depot or Lowe's. I can't remember now, but they were all in videos. When I bought them, I put them in a video showing you I actually at the store. When I was at the store looking at what they had, this was one of them. And then, of course, I brought it home and I showed you what I bought. And here I am showing you me planting them. These guys here, they grow from zones 2 to 9. All right. And they require full sun. And these are an interesting looking bulb. Or I think they might be called corms. I'm not absolutely sure. Okay. And look how they look, guys. No other bulb looks like this. Look at that. That's what they look like. Here's another one. But in saying all that, this one here, you can tell where the up is and the down is. Where you see those little, these little fine things here, that's the bottom. And here you can see that growth here, that's the top from last year. And I have 50 of these. So of course I can put way more than one in a container. Okay, so let's pot these up. All right, so I'm gonna try to see if I can I can fit 10 of them in here. Again, where you see those little fibers, that's the bottom, and the top is where you can see that green growth right there. I'm just gonna place it, secure it in the soil. 10 of them. I'm gonna see if I can get 10 in here. And you're supposed to plant these how far apart? Depth is 4 inches, and I don't see where it says how far apart, but I'm just gonna go with 2 inches. We're gardeners. We like to gauge stuff. Half the time we don't even follow the instructions or the directions. But in any case, so I'm putting them in here, just going around in a circle and putting them in there. And then, I won't be able to fit 10, guys. I definitely won't be able to fit 10. Okay, so I'm gonna put 2, 4, 5. I'm gonna put 6, like that, just like that. And then I'm gonna cover them. They said 4 inches. And also, that's another thing too. In the container, you plant it like you would plant it in the ground. So if it says 4 inches deep, you would put 4 inches of soil above it in the container. Everything else I've planted before, they didn't need to be planted that deep. And Liatris get tall, so you really want to make sure it's secure in the ground or in the container, so that when it starts blowing, the wind gets really rough, or we got bad weather, the thing doesn't topple over because it's not deep enough, right? So I'm just going to cover this, and I'm going to gauge it to 4 inches. They're actually coming out already in the garden. I did a little walkthrough the other day, and I'm already seeing them poking through the soil in the landscape, so I'm really, really happy about that. Okay. I don't stress too much about exactly if it's 4 or 5 inches. I just put a bunch of soil over it, and it always works out. Okay, so here is Liatris. Write that in here. Right there. And then what I should have done actually too was the date, but what I'm gonna put it in my little notebook of when I planted these. It's also a good idea to put it on the marker itself to tell you when you actually planted these. But because I'm gonna be planting them all on the same day, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna mark it in my book and I'll be fine. Okay, so here's one set of Liatris, and I'll do the same thing for the other Liatris, and then we have and I'll show you all of them in the end. Okay. Okay guys, so I have gotten through all the bulbs and tubers that I wanted to get through. My camera stopped recording for some reason when I was doing the creme de cassis, but this one is also planted too, and I'm really excited to see how these actually do this year. Here they are in the containers, made sure they are marked. I ended up still planting that other peony right now. Whatever happens, it happens, but it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna leave it. If it ends up gets more mushy, then I'll definitely throw it away. But it was soft enough for me to worry about it, but I really didn't want to throw it away because sometimes plants have a way of recovering. So there's the peony. Here are my dahlias. So this is Kogain Fubuki is over here. Then over here is Motto. Over here are the two creme de cassis that didn't get recorded. We've got Lady Darlene over here. And Lucky Number. Another Motto is right here. And everything over here is a Liatris. There were 50 bulbs, guys, so I had to kind of put 6 or 7 in each. And I'm really, really excited about the Liatris as well. So that's it for this video, guys. You can stay tuned for another video that's going to be specifically for lilies. I absolutely adore lilies. I think they're one of the most prettiest, most fanciest plants. I have tiger lily. I have a bunch of oriental lilies that I need to plant, and some other lilies that I need to plant, but I wanted to make sure I separated it because it would have been a long video, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what your process is. Do you pot up, or do you jumpstart, or you just wait until late April or late May to just like put them in the ground? Let me know what you think. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted in all my new videos. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.